Yo, evening everybody. I hope those down in Cornwall, but also it's starting to really pick up outside. I can hear it now. Are staying safe tonight because those winds are pretty bad. So let's just hope it doesn't knock out the internet for any of us. So hopefully we get a nice stable stream. So on tonight we have myself, of course, and Andy. Evening, Andy. How are we?
Good evening, Mike. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, all good. Thank you, mate. Good day traveling.
Yeah, of course. Yes, you've headed up the line, and he's planning on coming back tomorrow, which might be a bit tricky. So, anybody traveling, make sure you keep an eye on the forecast and, of course, the traffic. Gavin, an evening to you. How's your week been?
Yeah, very good. Busy. Everyone's back. Everyone wants to go at 1,000 miles an hour, which is good. But yeah, it just means that downtime's a bit of a premium. But always a pleasure. Never a chore.
Oh, I think you've unplugged your mic. Again, apologies.
I accidentally clicked on the old mute. There it is. Yeah. I said, always a pleasure, never a chore to be talking to you guys. It's been a very busy week. Everyone's back to work. Everyone wants to go at 1,000 miles an hour, which is no bad thing, but downtime's a premium.
Yeah, no, that's it. And that's not an echo, folks. He's just checking that you did hear him after he was playing with his mic. So apologies again, as I have to say every show to our podcast listeners. With your
He's on Echo Beach, Mike. He's on Echo Beach.
Echo Beach. We found our way to Harvey. So Harvey, how are we doing? It's good to see you and have you back on. How's things?
Yeah, same old. Raring to go after my midday nap. Yeah, buzzing.
Oh man.
I like the way he's turned into a dockyardie already at 21. It's very good.
You got to.
He was woken up by the iPhone or the mobile phone alert system. While he was just making sure he was fresh and ready, folks, for the show tonight, of course. So we have a few of you in tonight, so it's good to see. We got Michael Hawke saying, evening, everyone. I hope you are all well. I see Ronan Curtis could be your first January signing. Well, we're going to, of course, talk about the transfer talk in a moment. Argyle 83 saying, evening, bedwetters. God, it's wet outside and inside. Well, I don't know. Hopefully, Argyle 83, people have calmed down a little bit after that result.
I can't even get bedwetters in on this show anymore without them chirping in first.
There you go.
Evening, Ben Bennett.
They're dishing it out first. Brian Pederetta says, evening all, stay safe. Yeah, thank you for that, Brian. Brian, for those of you that don't know, is dialing in all the way from Boston, Massachusetts. So there we go. Also, what we got here, let me scroll a bit further down. Hazard, exclamation mark, with regards to a bit of a twist on the weather. And Connor Hazard, he will be another one that we will talk about in the transfer news. I'm going to miss his constant kicking into touch, says Argo 83. Well, if he goes. Matt Montgomery, evening to you. High Block 9 gang. Do you find Argyle 360-degree rhetoric puzzling? Oh, hang on. It's moving around on me here. It's great roles of success, but let's remember 30 plus don't always equal success. Let's think terrible West and terrible West and
terrible West. Yeah.
Yeah, she's right first time.
Yeah, and forget me, please, for sure. God, there we go. That was a mouthful for me to try and pit across. Peter Henwood, evening to you. Blowing a hoolie in Callington. Arsenal is currently goalless. Yeah, we were speaking on Messenger just now. So he's a big Arsenal fan, so he's hoping for a good result after the poor results or giving points away last night by Aston Villa, Man City, etc. So Ben Bennett, Florin, evening to you. Green Army, he says, Ruby and me, if Hazard goes, does that mean we will be looking for a new number one keeper? Well, we'll come to that in a minute. Matt also saying you can still have experience and quality at 26. Wouldn't disagree. Ben Collins also saying evening, Janners, and Debbie Firth. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all well. Yes, well,
good evening.
For all of us, we're managing to be in the dry, so inside, so that's good. So yeah, it's pretty bad out there. So hopefully there are no issues with this weather, and everybody is staying safe. So Right, let's crack on with the show. So we're going to bring up some transfer talk in a second. That'll be the first topic of tonight and go through all the points that have come out, rumours and all that stuff this past few days. Then we're going to talk about the youth players. An interesting one just to go through, obviously, with Izaka returning and, what is going to happen with that, clubs, etc., that are not playing them, that take them on loan. Where does that leave the youth at the moment? And then we shall end on the trophy EFL Virtue Trophy game against Bristol Rovers on Tuesday and get not just our thoughts, but also who we think or Gavin thinks is going to line up for that. So, rumour mill. As it is, just rumours so far. So we've got three really strong ones this week so far. When I say strong, but the ones that have gained traction. The first one being Curtis Nelson, potentially Argyle looking to bring Curtis Nelson back to the club. So we'll come on to a bit about him in a second. Hazard linked to Belgium, and I believe he might have had talks with them in the summer just gone. His contract does run out this summer, so it's probably options that Argyle might be looking at if they can get some money for him, or if not, he'll end up going as a free. And then we've also got Ronan Curtis that came out today, the Port Vale left wing, that is strongly linked as well to Argyle. So we got a bit of a profile on him. But I'm going to start with Curtis Nelson. Harvey, you would have been too young, but Andy, I remember him when he was playing for us as a young lad, and it was exciting to watch him then and see him develop. So, what do you make of that rumour? That sort of people are feeling quite strong on it as well.
Yeah, he's a good sort of defender, to be fair. 10 years ago, whether he can do it now, League One with the pace of League One, I don't know. He might be able to. He might be fine. He hasn't played much for Derby this season. I think 2 games he's played. Yeah, he'd be a good addition. Definitely a good addition. He's got something about him that can sort of defend, which is good. But I did hear a rumour last night on TikTok from a guy who's a Derby fan, Andy Shippo. You probably know him. He said it's not happening, but yeah, whether he's right or not, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So yeah, I think he's not done much. Let me bring up his stats here. Well, I say stats. I just did a funky little generated slide. If it will switch to it, no, that's not the right one. Come on, Edwards, wrong Curtis. So there we go. Yeah, Curtis Nelson, obviously a centre back, 32 years old. He's been at Derby for a little while now, I believe. He's got good experience. Harv, I'll come to you. Strong defender, calm on the ball. Obviously history with Argyle, which sort of helps. Do you think he's someone that is likely to be on the table? I think, does his contract end soon as well at Derby? So could be a good option for the Greens.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. He's definitely got a lot of experience. I remember him briefly. I think he definitely was in the squad when I first started watching. And obviously his age is not on his side ideally, but sorry, he could be more of a player that's going to come in. He's going to be a training player and he's going to help out in the big games. I've just seen a comment there. That's definitely not Curtis Nelson.
Hey, look. Well, I mean, a bit more, sort of. I don't know, but it's the lovely wonders of AI. I threw something together quickly, so come on, bit of fun.
No, yeah, no, I do think. I think if it's on the table, it's definitely one to take. He knows the club briefly, obviously at a young age, and I think he's definitely going to be a right step forward for Argyle's backline.
Yeah, no, I think it's if we can get someone like that in, just to see us, whether it's a short-term deal or whatever, while we try and rebuild the club. As everybody is dropping the notes in. It would be a good deal, I think. I mean, Gavin, how strong do you think this one is, and what's your thoughts with Curtis Nelson?
It's a difficult one, I think. He must have lost some pace from when he was here last.
Yeah,
last time he cleared up behind Sonny. And got him out of mischief lots of times. This time he would be the one needing clearing up. So I think you'd have to play him or Mitchell. I don't think you could play them both in a 4. So I think neither of them got enough pace, which is what Pleggy and Ross both do very well. They mop up and they're good ball players. So I would say if we're losing Cornell, we've got enough fullback options there with Mackenzie on the way back, then it makes sense. He's got great experience in the league. He knows how to go up. He's naturally a very good defender. If Mitchell got crocked, I think we'd be a lot weaker because we wouldn't have that out-and-out defender in the middle of the back four that we would crave. It's probably for the league that we're in now. And for the short-term future, it's probably an upgrade on Cornell, because I don't think Cornell's head or heart's in it this year as much as it was previous years gone by. He's shirked a few crosses and not looked his analytic best. A bit like Conor Hazard, really. So I'd be saying, yeah, it's if the business is done, it's a pretty good recruitment if Cornell's on his way.
Yeah, I mean, just to clarify in the comments, he's 32, so he's not 37, as I was just laughing at Matt Montgomery. We don't need a 37-year-old at the back, not with Galloway and Pleggy's injury records in the back line. We need a physical and mobile backline player. And Argyle 83 also saying he's about 45, ain't he? Well, not in my picture. He doesn't look it. He looks a prime centre-back machine. But yeah, so just to I'll give you a few more stats on what he's been up to. So he's been at Derby County since 2023. Before that, he was at Blackpool for a very short stint, Jan to June. That was a free transfer, as well as going to Derby on a free. Cardiff, he had a decent stint at from July 2019 to 2023. He was at Oxford then before that, also a free transfer in July 2016 to 2019. And then his stint at Argyle from 2010 to 2016 with 246 appearances back then and 9 goals. So, but yeah, I mean, his market value is around 230k. I think if he wants to move on, Derby will probably let him go without too much trouble. And if we can get a good deal on him, then I think it would be a wise bit of business, because I said it on Sunday. I think this transfer market is going to be really, really tough, not just for Argyle, but probably for all clubs. We shall soon see, of course. I did forget to add to my list, so thank you, Gavin, for bringing it up. But Cornell Sukes, yes, is another one that has been linked to for a move. So unsettled potentially, but he was in training up and that today with some of the gym photos that you would have seen. So I think
there's also another rumour, Mike, of Pato to Walsall.
Right. Okay. Yeah, well, he was on the bench, wasn't he? We did sort of feel that something might have been going on with him when he was left out and Stevenage and stuff. And then
he wants to go home, didn't he? I don't think he's happy. He's from Coventry. He must be missing all that smog, all that M62 grime, and the way they speak funny. I don't know, because clearly Plymouth's a horrible place to live compared to Coventry. If you're a connoisseur of concrete, I suppose you're going to be happier up there. But if he's not happy, then he probably needs to go, and we'll get someone else.
No, the wife. I was just trying to say, just before you mentioned that, I went to point out the back, because we've got a woods right behind us, and I heard a massive crack. There is some tall trees back there, hopefully not tall enough to reach the house. So that's how strong that wind is out there tonight, folks. Right, let me just read some of the comments that have come in. Dad the Janner, evening everybody, evening to you. Argo 83 saying Galloway's New Year resolution is to stay out of the Argyle ward at Derriford. So well, we'll see. He had a brilliant performance and that on Sunday, and he has won that. We need him to be fit and ready. Any news on Pleggy yet, says Ruby and me. Anybody hear anything on Pleggy?
I thought you'd have been talking to him on the hour every hour, mopping his brow, Mike.
No, I got this court order thing through the other day. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. So I think because the presser will be on Monday, won't it? So I'm guessing we might hear a bit there. But I think cleverly didn't look too sort of overly happy, did he, when he was interviewing that post-match saying it's a calf injury, and he looked quite concerned. So, yeah, we wish his recovery well, and hopefully it will be a speedy one back. Experience is the key in this league, says Michael Hawkes, and he knows the club with regards to Curtis Nelson. Yeah, it's a good point. Yes, GT was in earlier. Evening Greens, Evening All, he says, has come on the greens as his tag on YouTube. Can the Block 9 do a hoodie saying up or down the bedwetters on the front of with Gavin's face and pic? Well, I just haven't had time, but we did talk about the bed sheet the other day, yeah, who knows what might come out on the Block 9 shop.
The bedwetting series, yeah.
Exactly. So moving on then to the other rumour that's come up, which sort of Carl said in the chat, he's working tonight, so couldn't be on, but he's like, that doesn't look like this guy either. Who cares? It's a very close resemblance, I think. But Ronan Curtis of Port Vale has been linked today. 29-year-old Republic of Ireland player, 5'10", left winger stroke forward. So he's, I spoke to someone in work who's a big Port Vale fan, and she was already annoyed that we had taken Talai. So when I asked her for some insights on Ronan Curtis, she said, can you stop taking our players? She did say that she wouldn't like to see him go. But I think a few on social media, I haven't checked myself, but WhatsApp group has been commented that Port Vale fans won't be too bothered if he does go. Andy, I'll come to you. Do you know much about this Ronan Curtis at all, or is he a new one on you?
No, I remember him playing for Pompey, playing well against us, actually. So he's a good unit, and obviously he's been in the same team as Talai early on this season. So they know each other, and I just wonder whether Mr. Talai had any words to say, oh, let's bring this guy down. He's good enough for this, for us. So other than that, I don't know a lot about him. AFC Wimbledon.
I can pull up his. So basically, he went to Port Vale on a free transfer in 2024 in July. Wimbledon before that, but from Jan to June 24. So only 73 games at Port Vale, 17 at AFC Wimbledon. He did score 11 for Port Vale, 5 in that short stint for Wimbledon. Then Portsmouth, his main club and place where he played his football, 226 appearances with 57 goals, and Derry City 100 league games with 24 goals. I don't believe, from what my friend told me, she said Darren Moore didn't really use him, so he wasn't getting much games last season, but he certainly I think he came in recently and scored for them in a recent game. He has played a bit with Talai. I did ask her that, and I think there could be a bit of an influence, Harvey, maybe with sort of Talai recommending him or putting him to the club as an option, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. If it's a strong rumour, I definitely believe that Talai is going to have a say in it. Possibly even Talai's went to club. Sorry, I don't know what's going to be throat tonight. Wait a.
He's gonna have a drink. We'll pause. I'll play some music.
Sorry.
Right, there we go.
That's very
important. Gotta have a lie down, mate. Gotta have a lie down.
I think I need another nap, don't I? I need another nap. I think Talai's definitely going to have, if the move's going to happen, he's going to have a big say in it. And you don't know their relationship at Port Vale. You don't know whether they had a strong relationship on the ball, and that could maybe persuade Talai to push the deal to Argyle and swing it their way. Obviously, it's going to have to be a money deal. But yeah, no, it definitely, he was an exciting player when we used to watch him at Portsmouth. Certainly a player which I used to hate seeing. So it'd be nice to see him in green.
Yeah, no, it does sound like could be a really good appointment if we can find a way to close that out, if it is true. Gavin, I've got the slide, so bear with me a second. We were looking at it just before the show. His player traits, Kera Fotmob, look really strong, don't they?
He's the reverse of Amici, so he's all right-footed, plays on the left, will cut inside and either cross or take a shot. He's got good pace. He scored some decent goals that I had a quick look on YouTube earlier for his highlights. I've seen a couple. Not in Port Vale, I have to say. But Port Vale under Mr. Moore Mr. Positive played 5-3-2. I think he'd like to have played 9-1-1 if he could. But that obviously doesn't then give much of a song to a winger, unless you're playing him on a wing back position, which I don't think suits his game. So he's probably a similar player to Dale, to be honest, in terms of pace and age and profile. And he knows Talai already. He's played up front in a 2 because they've probably got no one, but it looks like he's much better wide left coming in off his right. And if we're going to go back to a 4-2-3-1, then him and Mumba for the left and Amici and Finn on the right gives us 4 very strong. Bye, Mike. 4 very strong. He's back. For those who are listening, Mike just disappeared. I thought that maybe the tree had crashed through the house.
Your luck was in, but it's not.
No, it's not. No. That'll give us 4 very strong wide players in Finn, Amici on one side and himself and Mr. Keating and Mumba on the other. So it looks a positive move. I don't think, just to say as well, I don't think our friend Mr. Oh God, my brain's dead.
Harrington.
Porter, Chris Harrington isn't going to be mentioning this unless it's a done deal, I would imagine, because he doesn't report speculation. He's not Fabio, is he? He only reports it when it's there or thereabouts. So I imagine he's been at the club today doing terms and bits and bobs and having a look round, saying hello to Tolly et al. So there we go. But if you look at his record there, it's what I like. They look at the Portsmouth 45-14 in 2020, 48-14 in 2021, 48-10 in 2022, but 9, 10 and 9 goal assists as well, which is, if you look the year for that, 18, 19, 49 and 12 with 9 goal assists. So he's clearly, 20 odd goal contributions are in his grasp, which is good. Not done it in recent times, but I don't think Port Vale have ever played with wide wingers, have they? I know Portsmouth used to play 4-3-3, but it looks like it'll be a positive signing. I don't think Mr. Adams will get this one wrong. We've said we're going to sign a wide player, which I'm assuming is him, a centre forward and maybe a midfielder, unless anyone else leaves. That would assume that he would be the wide player.
Yeah. I mean, Adams, to be fair, guys, has picked up a lot of little gems down the years, hasn't he? Carey, Lamaris. So why not, another one in Curtis?
Well, someone said the other day, Andy, he also picked some howlers, but it's just, I think there's look. It does read like a good one. The feedback from my friend who's a Vale fan, she spoke very positive, of him. So, I think
what makes it the most important thing is he knows the standard. He knows the league very well. He's got lots and lots of games in the league. Yeah. Whereas before we've been too edgy. Oh, he's played in the Mongolian second league. For whoever, and you think, oh, okay, this could be interesting. And then he takes 2 years to get accustomed to the league and goes out on loan to Saudi Arabia's third division, even though we paid a fortune for him. Sorry to drag a bold.
I'm just I'll put it on now because that blip, there was a huge gust of wind which started a whistle, considering the double glazing in this room. That sort of was like a bit weird, and then tripped me out. So if I do cut off, the stream will carry on. So whatever we're on slide-wise, just carry on talking, gents, and I'll dial in from my iPad if I can on the mobile network, if that's even working. So just as to put it out there, if you see me disappear, I might not be able to get back. Yeah. So, so it's pretty bad out there from the sounds of it here. So, so Matt Montgomery's saying he started his career as a striker, so Curtis Ronan could tick both boxes. VW Coco has dropped in tonight as well. Evening to you. Alex at Argyle says, hello all, and Harvey, Ronan Curtis, ? Well, you just heard us talk about him there as we were coming to the end of that, Alex. Argo83 saying January sales transfer window next week, be going in for Exeter players. Oh, wait, I think we are. Well, Gavin, that was it you that mentioned that at the in the lobby, that there was an Exeter player, or someone mentioned an Exeter player that supposedly we're being linked with now?
Not me.
Was it you, Andy?
Jaden Wareham apparently on X, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, the typical rumour mill that's doing everything. Speaking, though, actually, of Exeter City. Now, if you're wanting to find ways to try and survive as a club, and we've all been there, we've been there, there's things that you do if you own a business when things are not going great that you wouldn't normally probably do, and things go out the window when you're desperate. Now, if those of you that haven't seen, Exeter went cap in hand to Man City, asking if they could give their share of the game revenue, the ticket revenue sales, to a share of their 50% to the club. Now, there's one thing, phoning someone up or writing them a letter and asking that. And like I said, people will do the most strangest of things when they're fighting for survival. But to go and put the statement out online and frame it and put it out and say this is what we've said to Man City isn't a good move. You're also effectively putting Man City in a difficult place, a club worth billions, lots of money. And it's almost saying, well, if they don't give you something, then you're going to make them look bad because you've put it out there that you've sent this long letter asking them to think about it for those smaller clubs. Gavin, I remember when it came out, you fired it up in the WhatsApp group and said, this is just embarrassing and ridiculous. And I responded then with a comment of, people will do anything when they're fighting for survival. But to go and then publish that, that's bad, isn't it?
I was at my desk writing an investor deck, and on came BBC Radio Devon, as I always put on, and it was one of the sports news. I was like, stop and do. I was like, what? Yeah, look, there's good looks and there's bad looks, right? And I think even the scum fans are going, what are you doing? It wasn't Argyle, it wasn't the club, by the way, it was the trust.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, apologies. Thank you.
The trust, it wasn't the club. Just to get that clear. Don't want to be hounded. But just horrific. Please, sir, you're really rich and famous and you've got lots of pennies and we're on the bones of our arse because we're a fan-run club. Can we all have your money? I wouldn't give him a penny more now. I think it's one of those things where, as a board, you might sit there after you've been walloped 5-0 and go, oh, you're not going to miss a few extra grand, are you? Any chance you can send them to us? Because didn't they do it years ago when they were in non-league, when they were coming back up to the leagues? They got a £500,000 check. I don't know when it was, a few years ago. I saw something on social media earlier. But you don't beg. You don't put it on social media and try and basically blackmail your opponents on Saturday, a week before kickoff. Go, oh, you're going to beat us up. Can you please have all your money? It's just embarrassing. Yeah, we've all been there, but just rattle the bucket at half time at Exeter. Apparently, everyone's minted at Exeter, so they'll all have thousands of pounds in their pockets waiting to go to their sandwich money or whatever, pasty money. So no, it was embarrassing for both the club and the fans, I would say, and the players. Sat in the box in the tunnel beforehand, looking across your oppo, trying to be even, saying, "Oh, our fans trust have asked you for all the money of this game because we're shit." Everything about it is pony.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Harvey, as you just noted in our private chat, I mean, Man City might need it with their 52 charges that they've got pending and hanging over their head.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. You never know. It might be Man City asking a club like Exeter for money in 5 years' time. So, no, I think it's horrendous. I think it's not what football's about, and I think them putting it online is sort of making the tie about money, where in fact the tie is really about their fans having a great day out playing an opposition that they're never going to see in the foreseeable future. And that's not me making a dig at Exeter. That's a common fact. Man City are one of the most prestige clubs in the world. They've got billions of pounds players, and Exeter should go and enjoy the day out and not worry about extra couple grand, like Gavin said, when their payout is huge compared to they could have had a non-league team at home, and they still, they wouldn't have had 8,000 there if they didn't have a Man City away draw.
Yeah, I mean they could. Yeah, I mean they could have had. They could have had Man City at their ground. So it's. It's all. It's. I suppose they're not a prime TV slot, are they? Either. But Yeah, it's one of those where the club's Twitter, I had a look at it earlier, or X, sorry, formerly known as, and they're all about getting the vibe up going, which is what it should be. So, yeah, I think we'll all agree it's a poor showing from the fans' trust. And also Argo 83, keep that 2p, mate, because I think, and by all means, you can get yourself a Block 9 money box. It could be useful for our transfer kitty that we need to help Uncle Simon with. So a few more people in the chat. Sam Branch, good to have you back in. Be surprised if there wasn't structural damage at Home Park with this wind. It is pretty mental. Argo 83 alluding to, obviously we're talking about player transfers. He said a Victor Polson appreciation message coming in from him. The wind's bloody strong, says GT. Yeah, it is, and I'm feeling like something's going to come crashing through here in a minute. Arsenal is goalless at half-time, says Peter. All over Liverpool, but the weather out there is absolutely atrocious. My border collie dog is going berserk with all that noise. The wife just said to me that we're moving the kids from the back to our room because Sophie's scared it's that bad out there. Sam saying embarrassing from them. SM10 saying it's embarrassing from them with regards to the Exeter statement. Also 83 saying I've just heard half of one of the Exeter stands has blown away. Oh, hang on, sorry, no, it wasn't there to begin with. Matt Montgomery, what happens if it works though? So with regards to the Exeter statement, it's a difficult one because Man City now, if they don't do something, as we said, by making it public, does bring them into that sort of, oh, well, they didn't bother doing it and they've got all this money. They don't have to do it. Whether or not they do give them something, time will tell. But, it's just still bad, isn't it?
Peter, they can give a free ice donut, mate. A free ice donut before you go in. There you go.
There we go. Chelsea gave us their share 3 seasons ago. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So good to point that out. But let them do it willingly. Don't put it out there. Billions or bin juice, 83 says. Tell Tony Rowe that Gavin, Chiefs 10 million losses last season. Yes, they're up for sale. So we're talking about that with someone today where the Chiefs are having a few issues as well, Gavin, up there. So this is what happens when you're trying to chase success like we have. If you get it, it can be great, but when things start to go wrong, you've got some massive overheads, Gavin, haven't you? And it can be difficult to manage that.
Yeah. I think 10.3 million was their reported losses last season. Tony Rowe's got deep pockets, but I don't actually, I haven't seen the extra balance sheet. I don't know if there was retained cash to that measure or whether Tony's had to put his hand in his pocket and make up the shortfall. Not sure. He's looking for a minority shareholder now. I think we know a chairman like that, don't we? So it's professional sport, isn't it? I think the pay brackets on all professional sports, certainly rugby football, are getting bigger and bigger week in or year in, year out, and the income's not rising with it. So eventually, somewhere is going to have to go. No, we're not paying that for all these players. Piss off, and realign the salaries because in League One having players on £10,000 a week, £500,000 a year is mental. So.
Yeah. It's mad.
Salary cap in rugby. There isn't a salary cap in football.
No. Well, exactly. And look where that's ended up. Mike also saying and pointing out, does it send a bad message if Man City do it? I think you just move on from it. Just get on with the fixture. And if they do something, they do something. And I think if they do something, then the trust should also not even note that they've done something. Keep it private as it should have been.
It will set precedent because it means every time you draw an away Premier League team in the future, you send a nice letter on social media and they cough up the cash.
Yeah,
I was just going to say that. Yeah, no, you can't do it, Man City. Just don't do it.
Yeah, no, it's not great. All right, we'll move on from them up the road. We lost 10 million signing and getting rid of Poulsen. I go 83 on that again. Let me just check back to where we are on a note. So Hazard to Belgium. So I said earlier that he's got a contract running till the summer. He's coming to a fair bit of criticism recently. We've also said that on the show. Definitely had a different, whatever they did in training for the game on Sunday, there was a difference in there. We said that in the post-match. He was playing further forward, and he seemed to come for the odd cross as well when there was one pit into the box. Harvey, with Hazard, if he is linked to that Belgian club, if we can get something for him now rather than sit on it, because else he'll just go for a free and then we'll get nothing. Should Argyle try and do some business and get something for him and move him on?
Yeah, 100%. And I think that now is the perfect time to move. I think that without saying it, he's sort of made it clear in himself. And as I've spoke about on the pod for the last few weeks, months, it looks as if he doesn't want to be here. And I think a fresh start's going to do him the world of good. I think we've got to look at it from a player perspective as well. He's only getting older every year, and we all know a footballer's career is not lifetime, so he's got to make the most out of it. And possibly a move is going to do him that right, do him that bit of justice. But with the goalkeeper situation as well, I've got a very bold statement to make on it. I wouldn't sign another keeper. I'd put Ashby Hammond as number 1 to the end of the season, and then I would risk it and give Zach Baker that number 2 role, which I think is going to also progress Zach Baker immensely.
Yeah, interesting one. Yeah, I mean, Carl even said in our chat, just sort of some points from him tonight where he can't be here. But should we go back and bring Callum Burton back as an option? I think I can see what you're saying, and I still, there's still the jury's out on Ashby Hammond as well, but he has got some traits that are very good with his distribution. He can help get those attacks going. But it's an interesting one. What would you say to that, Gavin? Would you go with what Harvey said, or still try and get in a keeper, even if maybe a loan one till the end of the season?
I think we've got to sign a keeper. I don't think you sign one for signing one's sake. If there isn't one out there better than Zach Baker, then you leave it as it is. But I think there's a lot of champ clubs and even Premier League clubs who have probably got better playing in the under-23s. I noticed when we were doing a research the other night, actually, I've forgotten his name now, long week, Ipswich's third keeper, is it Button, the third keeper? So he's registered with the under-23s at Ipswich, having played very well. He played Rust, and he on loan for a while? David Button?
Walton.
No, so Walton's played for them, but
Button was on loan for us. Yeah,
Button was on loan. So he's 30 now. He's playing for the under-23s because they can't register more than 25 players in the squad. Someone like that to come down and do us a job till end of the season, I think would be with experience, would probably do us the world of good. There's going to be keepers out there on that. The frustrating thing is we got rid of Grimshaw. You'd be snapping your arm off for Grimshaw and goal now. Good feet, gets us going. He's a typical, I hate to say it, but he's a typical TC type goalkeeper. And we got him at the door as quick as we could. Well, I suppose because he didn't fit the mould at all for what
Uslich wanted.
Mooslich wanted. Thank you. Oh, my brain's dead. It's been a long week. Thanks, Harv. You can I'll put your hand up my arse, got a gear, and just work the rest of the pod.
I've had the nap. That's why I've had the nap.
Yeah, you have, mate. You're all right. You're rested. So yeah, look, I think there's be goalkeepers out there that will want game time, but Hazard's not been the same as he is. All his body language says, "I don't want to be here." Every time you see him, I don't think he's the most sunny side up sort of personality in the world anyway at best of times, but he doesn't come across as sunshine and roses, does he? He's no Mary Poppins, but he looks even more dour now and more disinterested than he ever has, what irritates me more than anything is he kicks the ball out of touch for 20 feet above the player's head, and then come on, it's your fault. Why aren't you 19'3" to be able to keep that in play? And you think, come on, just own up to your mistakes. So it is frustrating. On his day, I think he had some of the best stats in the Championship last year when he was turned on under Miron. But he just doesn't want to be here this year, and that's a real shame. And he's doing his bit, but I don't think he's really straining every sinew to to keep the ball out of the net, which is frustrating. So there we are.
I just wonder whether we could go for someone like Callum Burton, who's not getting much playtime.
But they've only got 2 keepers, though, so they're not going to let their second one go because they've got nothing in behind. You need a club that's going to have 3 decent keepers and take the third one, basically.
He'd be ideal for us,
Yeah,
because
no,
he
he would,
did really
yeah.
well
He
when
would.
Coops was out.
He would.
Yeah, I think the whole, when you consider the players that, sort of came up with us in the championship and then came down, obviously, Mumba being another one that we've talked about, where is his head at? Does he want to go? It does feel a bit like that they wanted to get out in the summer, couldn't get a deal for one reason or another, and then they've almost feel like they've just been frustrated. I said it before, don't want to ever claim that they're not trying to be professional and do their job, because obviously it doesn't help them if they have a poor season, of course. There's a difference between doing your job and then absolutely straining every sinew. And if you look at his form against Liverpool and in that run we had last year where we were picking up 1.7 points a game, he was outstanding. He was coming for everything. He was motivated. He was motivating people around him. La 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 la. And this year, he just looks like he's doing the bare minimum, which is frustrating. Yeah, it could be right. I mean, Matt Montgomery just said earlier, if he does go, it'll be the first time Hazard would take flight this season. I'll correct that. It'll be the second, because he did jump and come out for a ball on Sunday. Anyway, jokes aside, Ruby and me says if we could get Sam Tickle from Wigan, wouldn't be cheap, but would be a great signing. Ross Batts, evening to you, Ross, says, has anyone thought about Poulsen? We did touch upon him. You and Argo 83 probably need to get a separate chat room and have a bit of a loving on Poulsen, but I've just seen your back and forth on there, which is great. But yeah, no, high wage, and I just think you move on from that now. You could clearly see his legs were gone, but yeah, great finisher at times when he did switch it on for us. Brian Pinaretta saying Hammond will do fine. Our defence is a lot stronger than the start of the season, and he was doing fine when the defence was solid, before he got dropped and then a few issues that went on. So I don't disagree. Not perfect, guys, we know, but yeah, I think he could do a good job. And I agree with Gavin. If we can't find someone in that's better than Zach Baker in any way, shape or form, then it would just be a waste of a wage doing so. Keepers rarely get injured, and I've gone and jinxed it now, haven't I? But so those two could well be, Harvey, good enough to see us through. Laura Camille, Happy New Year, guys. Good to see you in, Laura. Happy New Year equally to you guys over there. Ross Batts also asked, have we spoke about Curtis Nelson coming back? Yes, we did that about 10, 15 minutes ago. So you're going to have to go back and listen and find out at the end. But yes, we wouldn't say no to that, Ross, effectively. So we'll see what comes of that. What we say there. Most of our cash went on Rooney's food and alcohol bills, says Argo 83. Michael Hawks also confirming David Button was poor for us. Mike's a Reading fan, for those of you that don't know, that joins us. He is 36, but does know the league. Just speaking on Connor Hazard, actually, he's 27. So as Harvey pointed out, he is going to be looking to establish a new contract that will see him go on.
The one thing that I think we've all forgotten as well is, when we won 5 out of 6 in September,
yeah,
guess who was in sticks?
Ashby Hammond.
Yeah.
That's right. That was that run that he had where things were going okay. So it's one of those things. The defense was better, and that obviously gave him a confidence boost as well.
His distribution was good as well.
His distribution was class.
I know. I saw someone comment the other day that what one's got good traits for, the other.
Yeah, you need to cut him in half. You need Hazard's top half and Delazouche's bottom half, but
it's that distribution that's key for me. I mean, it was better on Sunday from Hazard, and like I said, whatever they did to change his style of how he was playing, I mean, it looked like at one stage he was playing in midfield. He was that far forward, but yeah, I think distribution-wise, for me, Hammond, you could just open up a team very quickly with that style of distribution with what we've got now. What else have we got here? Argo 83 saying, it's funny how all the players we got rid of would now be good players for us. Funny how that, isn't it? Yeah, it sure is. What else we got? Andrew, evening to you, Andrew. Andrew T. If Hazard needs a lift to the airport, I'm free. And Argo 83 responded and said he won't be able to catch his flight. It was a bit like reminded reminded me of a spitting image quote with Bruce Grobbelaar. He left for Zimbabwe, but barely caught the plane because he was paid 50 grand to miss it. So don't know why, but that just reminded me of that. Dad the Janner says, "Hey guys, could you just repeat the last 10 minutes? Someone was using a very loud machine and didn't hear a word." Well, what's the loud machine, Dad the Janner? And of course, you can always, and this is a good segue, catch us after the show if you haven't made the whole live, and of course on your favorite podcast platform, whether that's Apple, Spotify, or whatever it is. Also, you can of course watch it back on YouTube, or listen if you can't watch it, just play it in the background, as I know a lot of people do. And also you can see all that plus our store on the block9.co.uk, and also our Discord channel that we're slowly going with as well, that you can join. Just search for the Block 9 on Discord and you'll find it there. So thank you for that segue you gave me. So what have we got next on my list to go through? So is there anything else anybody else has got to bring to the table on transfers? Any sort of dodgy rumours? Hardy obviously keeps coming up all the bloody time. That won't happen. But anybody want to pick their hand up and say, I've got one?
Well, I saw a comment about Mumba off a geezer I know called Matt. He was asking me, but I suppose we can speak about it. Mumba's whether he'll stay, whether he'll go. Personally, myself, I think he'll stay. I think now he's regaining a little bit of form. I think he'll see the season out, but then I do think he'll go in the summer.
Yeah, that's probably not a fair shout. Gavin pointing out to me in the private chat that I've left my Stevenage ticker on some of the slides. Yeah, I clearly didn't go through and check them all. So that's a problem when you're trying to do schoolboy error. Terribly unprofessional by me. Apologies, folks. Dad the Jano saying, no idea what the loud machine is. Big round spinny thing. I'm just a lowly pat tester. You should ask the question now, Dad the Jano, because we're all interested to know what this big round spinny thing is that's causing you to not hear. Laura Camille saying, what's the views on Freddie now he's back? Well, we'll come to that. And actually, we'll segue into that quite nicely now, Laura. So one of the things we were talking about in the chat this morning, and Carl brought up the point to bring up on discussion tonight, and that is obviously the youth and the situation there. He was at Folkestone Park the other day because his son for the Tamerton lads had a game, and he went around and had a look, shared some photos. I've seen it with Gavin. It is impressive over there. But we've obviously brought Hatch back a few months ago and featured. I can't remember if he made it in for a few minutes, but he was.
It was on the bench a couple of times.
Yeah, that's it. And then obviously now we've recalled Freddie, who got no game time at Bristol Rovers. Obviously, we were playing on Tuesday, and it's almost like what's going on there. Tegan Finn obviously got some minutes in the last couple of games, which is great to see, but probably not as much as a player with huge potential should be getting, maybe. So what will happen in this window with him? And if we're struggling to find clubs for these youth players to go to get minutes, and we're building this great academy facility, and it is fantastic, how do we expect then, and it's not my area of understanding, but just to put the question out there, how do we then expect to develop these youth players if we've got no reserve style fixtures? We've only got obviously the youth league games. How do we get them into the level that we need to be for the league if we then can't do anything with them locally, but then can't even give them to a team that wants to play them? Harvey, I'll come to you as a youngster on the show. What do you think to that? Is Freddie Azaka going to have to be in our plans now? Because I believe the 2-club rule, played for us at the start of the season for some minutes, went to Bristol Rovers. So I don't believe he can go to another club now, can he?
No, he is stuck with us. But to answer your question, what I would do personally, and it is a huge shout, it's a long shout, but it's sort of, because I remember when they first started Folkestone Park, they said about how they wanted to make Argyle into, pretty sure it was Cat B, which is obviously a better standard of football. You're playing better academies, better facilities. We need to try push for that if we want our youth team to progress and be able to become squad players. And I do think reserve games, obviously Folkestone Park is a huge venue, and I don't know whether they've built in an 11-a-side pitch which they could play games on, or whether they're still using Harper's, but to possibly hold reserve games because you can see the benefits of that for injured players, for players that can't get in the team, and then for the youngsters, which you get the right games, you play the right teams, is going to be great experience for all of the above I just said. But it's going to be a slow work in progress. I think it's something we're not going to see now or for a couple of years. It's going to be 5, 10, 15 years before the ball's properly rolling with it.
Yeah, fair enough. Andy, it's the other side to football at the moment. We talked about money earlier with the situation with Exeter. It is getting silly, isn't it? And it's difficult for smaller clubs, where clubs also like us want to loan out these players. Other clubs want to do that, and it's like, well, if someone takes them on, they got to weigh up, are they going to use them? Do they need them? They're going to be paying half their wage, or if they really want someone desperately, might end up having to pay all their wage. How do they accommodation all covered and possibly stuff like that? It's not cheap these days, is it, to get players to get, when we're, yes, location, folks, makes it more challenging.
Yeah, to be fair to Osaka, you can just hear him thinking, right, cleverly said, right, you're going to go down to Bristol Rovers on loan. Osaka's face is going to be, Bristol Rovers? But hang on, they're second bottom of the league. Yes, I might get from football. So he goes along reluctantly. He's not getting the game. He's getting frustrated. Then he's been, after, 2 appearances, is it? He's coming back to us. So his frustration's there. Yeah, I can get that. Bristol Rovers are on a tight budget as well. They can't probably pay his wages. So, but it's just, to me, that was just a big waste of a loan. A really massive waste of a loan. He's hardly got any game time down there. His confidence is probably low now. And now he's back with us and stuck with us and not getting game here either.
No, so we wouldn't have given him, Andy, out on loan, obviously expecting him to not get any time. There's one part of it, you could argue that with the finances where they are for Argyle, that if you can offload players and you're not paying their wage, or not all of it, that obviously helps a little bit. But you do want these players to get some minutes. And if we look at the rest of the list, of those that we've seen bits of, obviously Tegan Finn I just mentioned, Caleb Roberts, has had the odd minutes here and there, Joe Campbell, Sam Heyman the other day. There's a number of players there that have been sort of dropped in when we've struggled to fill the bench. Tegan's probably the only one that you could say should argue to have a seat on that bench in most games. I would like to see more of him, but yeah, it does make you wonder, Andy, where where we do see that youth and how we're going to get more out of them.
Yeah, you got to start encouraging them, haven't you? You can see on the one hand, Cleverly wants them to play in sides which are constantly winning, which is probably why we're seeing a bit more Tegan now coming off the bench. But you can't play all of them, can you? Because you get back to that routine where you're taking the experience out of the team, then you start to lose again. Then the confidence is back down there again, and you're shipping them out again. So it's tricky, isn't it? I think if we were sort of in the top half of the table, and you're playing someone like, I don't know, Port Vale, for instance, then you can play some of the youngsters because that winning sort of mentality is going forward, isn't it?
Absolutely. Gavin, just looking at Matt's comment there, get your thoughts on this overall. But Matt saying, Mike, to answer question mark, we could loan young players on the fringe, but he means fringe, obviously, of senior squad to foreign clubs to experience different training and tactical approaches. This could be done in a training exchange. It's an interesting one, that. Good point to put across. What are you thinking, Gav? What's your thoughts on that situation with the youth?
I think it's a mess. I don't think it's a mess of that's been created by Derek or TC or anyone else. I think it's a mess that's been created by the previous regime. If you look at Neil Dewsnip was our director of football for 5-6 years. He'll argue, I'm sure, that we brought some great players through the academy, Randall being one, Cooper being another, etc., etc. But there's no framework for these guys to play in. So, yeah, I think everybody's outraged when the list comes out of who's being retained from the 18s to go into the squad of the professional setup. Every year there's outrage saying, well, we've only retained 2 or 3 of a team that's, got to the quarterfinal of the FA Cup and done this and done that and done the other. If we had a mechanism to keep those guys going into under 21s and under 23s, then they would become better players and would potentially become commodities, which is what Folkestone Park's for. but I think, I've seen the academies when we played cricket at bloody Dalgany before, and they've been up there, which is a second team pitch from Plymouth College. It's been a bit of a joke historically. Mallinden's been a hub, but there's no grass pitch there. There's only a 4G pitch there, which the girls played on for quite some time before they moved to Home Park. So it's a bit of a patchwork quilt, a bit like a lot of the club, really. I don't think there's been any real strategic thinking about what this has done, whether we've had the finances. I think we probably had the finances when we were in 2 years in the champ. Folkestone Park was probably then in the strategic plan, but not anywhere near delivered, obviously. But so I think it's a bit of a mess. I think it's one for Derek to forward your master plan with Paul Byrne, really, and understand what that looks like moving forward. That ain't going to help us today. And at the moment, we've got, Isaka, Roberts, Hatch, and Finn as the 4 players that are probably striving for a position that are on the books sort of financially. Only Finn's really good enough at the minute, who's got that X factor. The other 3 are... Anisaka. The other 3 have got bits of play. They've been disappointing. They've had chances and they've not taken it in the Virtu or the Papa John's or whatever it's been historically. So I suppose the honest answer is, Osaka was probably the next great thing. He probably where Finn was 2 or 3 years ago. Now he's a shadow of what he was. I think it probably was the wrong loan move to go to Bristol Rovers, but there's people coming in for Freddie, and I imagine that was the only cab on the rank, so they got in it.
Well, interesting, Gavin, Dad the Janice saying how true that is or not, but didn't he get loaned out because he fell out with TC about game time and his attitude? I don't know if...
There were rumours coming out of Bristol Rovers that he didn't have the greatest of attitudes, and he thought his poo didn't smell walking around the place, and that he should be a championship player. And what's he doing down in League Two? I don't know how. I mean, he seems like a nice kid, and he's had a good upbringing. So I wouldn't say that's necessarily the case. But as always, when things go wrong, somebody somewhere makes something up or sees a small element of behaviour and says that's what he's like all the time. And that's where it sits. It doesn't help him. It doesn't help his current position, and it doesn't help him being loaned out anywhere else. I know Truro were very keen to take him down, and obviously no, they can't because of the two club rule.
Yeah.
Having spoke to Stu on Saturday, he might sign for them next season. Who knows? But he needs to play in a club with game time. If you look what he did to my brain's gone again. You'll tell me, Harv. What striker went down there? He's back down there now.
Jephcott.
So Luke Jephcott did him the world of good going to Truro, and that was when they were in a league or two below. It did Randall the world of good going to Torquay. He came back a completely different player because he learnt his trade playing with men, and he had confidence, and he was in the team every week, and that's what you need out of a loan spell. Look how we've handled McCabe.
Yeah.
Lord's gone back the other way. With bugger all game time, really. He had a really good game against Burton and didn't really feature after that. But we were in a dogfight at the time. And, as a manager, what's your main priority? Getting your team back into winning ways come hell or high water, or developing someone else's player? So
and that comes with experience, Gav, doesn't it? And
you can't blame Slimmer of the Year 2025 at Bristol Rovers for getting rid of him, because you need fighters. They're on the they go out the Football League, they're stuffed, Bristol Rovers. So they need a squad to climb themselves back out of the mess they're in. So developing a Plymouth Argyle young attacking wide prospect is the least of Steve's worries at the minute over there. Absolutely give a shit. Just like it was the least of TC's worries to say, well, we need to develop Law McCabe and make him into an attacking, very interesting prospect for Middlesbrough. It just is what it is, and that's why Rolls came in, and we needed that. We needed that anyway, I think, and that we should have had Rolls instead of McCabe with a hindsight of 2020. 2020 vision. But I just think he's been mishandled. He should have had a season-long loan when we were in the champ, and he never got one. He probably should have had a season-long loan the year before. He never got one. He's been given one this year, and it's the wrong club at the wrong time. And he needs to probably disappear off to a club, Yeovil, Torquay, Truro, if they stay in the league, and rebuild his career, because at the moment it's not looking good, is it?
No, he's definitely got. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because the lure of the football and becoming a pro and what that can bring you, and you only have to if your ability is good or not. If someone in front of you is better than you, that's going to be your problem, isn't it? And whether his attitude is an issue partly to it as well, don't know, but. It's certainly one of those where clubs, as I alluded to, certainly as you pointed out, like Bristol Rovers, the last thing they're going to want to do is spend a lot of time and energy developing someone that isn't theirs when they are trying to fight for their own survival in the actual football league. So it's a difficult one, and I think the club, especially with the situation we're in financially as well at the moment, we have to also rein it in and tighten our belts and just work out what we're going to what we need to do as well, just to make sure we get through a tricky situation. Argo 83 saying, I just want to know what colour the third kit is going to be next season. Leroy England saying, evening Janners. No relation to you, Harvey?
No.
No, just checking. I was looking for your reaction when he originally posted, but evening to you. Andrew T saying, can we not lend them to Parkway? Then they can still train at Argyle and get used to men's football. Yeah, possibly not a bad shout. And Matt Montgomery just re-emphasising his point about a foreign club saying an example, a 17, 18-year-old goes to train with Lorient and then send two players from them of the same age to train with us could lead to stronger ties. Again, it's the cost of managing that as well, isn't it? Where the funds would have been there in the Championship for us to do and even consider things like that, and not now. Dad the Janice saying, just to be clear, that was a rumor I heard, not something I know for sure. No, that's fine. We'll still obviously stated it's not factual, but just obviously something you're hearing. And Matt Montgomery also saying, having been fortunate enough to have had an internship in the US, the benefits of working in a different culture helps bring a new perspective. It gives extra focus.
That's worked. Sorry, Mike. That's worked for Jack Endicott, hasn't it? Jack Endicott couldn't really get a game here. Not really anything over here in this country, and he's gone to the USA and he's smashing his scholarship. I'm pretty sure he's got.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and big money to earn over there, isn't it, as well? Because they're trying to grow the awareness and everything. So, yeah, it's a great point to bring up. I think if you've got a good enough agent, your agent should then be looking at options not just on your doorstep, but over the pond as well. Brian, any options and opportunities in Boston, Massachusetts for us to send some players over to you over there? So look, I think we'll see how things pan out, but certainly, situations at the club do tend to bring everything up on the table that needs to be reviewed and looked at. So we'll see what happens. If we see Isaka feature more, even on the bench, that will be telling. Will he feature on Tuesday night? Which brings me nicely onto our final segment of the show, which is that game on Tuesday against Bristol Rovers. EFL Virtue Trophy knockout stage. So I'm just going to bring up Gavin's lineup. So we were talking about keepers just now, and he's put Ashby Hammond in goal. We all know what happened, if I have to remind you, of that fateful night in November, where it literally went through his fingers, his hands, and gave them the win. But we now come back around to face them again at home. What can we do this time? So, Gavin, talk us through your lineup and what you think will be the 11 on Tuesday night.
We're actually back at Ashton Gate, just to let you know.
No, Twetton Park, wherever they play now. The Eastville, I always think it is.
So I've picked a strong team, but I've mixed and matched a little bit. So same back four. We know that Pleggy, obviously, his calf means he's very, 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 very unlikely to be playing for a little bit of time. So I've gone Galloway at left back. Thought he was outstanding. Took his goal very well. Mitch and Matthias Ross in the centre, Joe at full back on the right hand side. So same back four. Gone for Ashby Hammond in goal. Retribution night. I think he'll have a stunner out there. Hopefully it's not Tia Rain and -7 and blow the hoolie, but we never know. Joe Rolls and Brendan Werridu in midfield. I know that everyone at the moment at the club is saying that that Malachy Boateng is Mr. Dependable and Reliable, but we need to get a full game under Brendan Wiridu's legs because they're all fighting for the same spot. Joe Rolls, I think, picks himself. And then, so I've gone 4-2-3-1 for those listening who can't see. So back four of that, 2 holding midfielders in Wiridu and Rolls, and then a 3 in front on the left of Tegan Finn, on the right of Xavier Amici, and in the middle of that 3, Caleb Watts, who I believe will be available now to start a game and probably be brought off after 55, 60 minutes, one would assume. And then Tolly up top, which should be strong enough to beat that lot up the road. And then you've got some probably younger players on the bench to exploit. Maybe Freddie gets a 20 minutes or so having coming back to prove a point, especially as he's just left the club we're playing. That might be interesting. I think he might be have an extra 5% in his legs that night if he gets on, and we go from there. No Such, didn't expect him to be around, if I'll be honest. Even if Hazard's around, I still think Hammond should start in goal, although he might not be there either. And of course, no new signings in that yet, and they may well be, depending what league they've come from, they may be available and eligible to play. Who knows? So that's what I've gone for. The bench is a bit of a anomaly at the minute because we don't really know who's available, who's going to be here, who's going to sign. So
yeah, no, I'll stick with you for a second, Gav. Just looking at the comments, Brian likes your lineup. GT just saying I would rest Edwards and Mitchell. I think the interesting one with that is, yes, we have had a run of games back to back. We've had a bit of a break now. Obviously, after Tuesday, we've then got the game at home to what is it? Oh, hang on, away. Sorry, to Peterborough. So we are going 2 back-to-back away games, but I think there's probably been enough rest to get Edwards' legs back and working, and I don't think Mitchell really has that issue. So yeah, I don't see that as a problem. Do you?
No, I'm just taking on Matt's point as well, saying Caleb Roberts should get an opportunity to start. I think he started the last game over there, actually. He wasn't great. He was okay. He was steady. He's probably a 6.5 out of 10. But we're in knockout stages now, so it means something. I think secretly, Paul Byrne would probably love £1 million to be netted out of a cup run, ending up with the final in Wembley. And you know, the years gone by of the vitriol hatred of the Pizza Cup seems to have disappeared. The boycotting of the earlier rounds isn't quite as bad as it was when there was one man and a dog turn up. And suddenly 40,000 people were interested when we got to the cup final last time, despite a lot of them saying, never go, never not going. And then suddenly they found a Wembley ticket somewhere, which is interesting. What about Belarus? You're absolutely right. I think, you know, there are a lot of players there that could do with a break. I think the ideal scenario, wouldn't it? The dream would be 2 or 3-0 up at half time. Talai comes off, Watts comes off, Edwards comes off, Amici comes off, and you replace them with 4, you know, Papel or Saka, Belarus, and you give these players who have had fringe time a game, because you know Belarus hasn't even made the last 2 squads. Which is
that I was just going to bring that up as well as it was put in the comments, but from Karim, evening to you, Karim. I mean, sort of, Andy, as it's a memorial stadium, I did look, but Mike did put that in the comments. Thanks, Mike. On Tuesday night that we head to. It is a strong lineup, and I also agree with Brian in the comments there saying it's playing time. You also, off the back of a good away result and a good home win, you want to keep that momentum, don't you? It's one of those things that you dread. When you're losing, you want to have a break so you can try and, you know, get your heads together and sort out the issues. When you're on a run, positive run, you don't want to have a gap either because you want to maintain that. So I think regardless of what the fixture is as a virtual cup game, it is a knockout stage. There's a bit more to it, as Gavin said, Andy, but you do want to try and keep that momentum going, don't you? So get a few early goals and then, like Gavin said, change a few players. Would you change anything, though, with the starting 11?
I think the only one I would change, even for this Gav, is Joe Edwards. I'd give Sorinola in there, get him in there and get him running at them, and then save Joe for Peterborough, because we're going to need him more at Peterborough. Points in the league, points in the league are more important than the virtue at the minute for me.
Yeah, it is. To be fair, Harvey, Soranola's not a bad shout, is it? Just to give Edwards maybe a bit more rest, like Matt was suggesting as well. What would you change much in that? What's your thoughts on that lineup?
No, I'm very happy with it. Yeah, I can see the shouts of Edwards and possibly Talai just to keep him fully match fit. But I'm not 100% sure. But can Ross play? Because Ross got the red card.
Oh yeah, I think he might actually be suspended from
I don't know if it's just the one.
Ah, you little tinker. You got a good memory, haven't you? Yes. Hang on, let me just double check on
youth.
on
I
the.
don't know if it was just the one game against Orient he was banned, or if it is.
Was it Orient in the Virtu? No, it wasn't.
No, he got the sending off against Bristol, but obviously we've played Orient since then. Haven't we?
Yeah, we did. Yes.
Red. Was it straight red? Product conduct.
Yeah, but was that in the Orient game? Was it, or was it in the Rovers game?
No, it happened in the Rovers game because I remember.
Yes, if he's played, if it's a one-game ban, then he would have missed the Orient game. So, but yeah, look, I mean, it's a good one to pick up. While Gavin's fevering away on his phone,
I'm
and
just
find out.
live blogging to see if he got sent off. I think he did.
Matt Montgomery's saying, feel Caleb Roberts would benefit hugely from an opportunity of playing with the quality and experience of rules. Feel this is far more beneficial in medium to short term. I think this is why I agree with going with a strong lineup, and even with the likes of Finn starting in, which I'd like to see, is I've wanted to see Finn start and within a good, strong team with the likes of Rules and Wiradoo that can drive forward. Watts coming back in, etc., and Amici on the opposite side to him. We could go in there and get a good start in the game, and like Gavin said, put it to bed 2 or 3-0. And then if you bring the likes of Caleb Roberts on, and even Azaka, even maybe sort of Joe Campbell could make the bench, Hatch could make the bench maybe. Then when they come in, then there's not that, oh, God, we're a goal behind or 2 goal behind, we're doing shit, oh, we're going to send you out now. Enjoy your 20 minutes, lads, in a negative environment. So I think if we can start strong, set a precedent and kill the game off, all being that is the case, then it's a better environment, Harv, I think, for those players to come in and because you want to go on and score more goals, don't you, and be involved in that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think these sort of cup runs, they should be an opportunity, like the comments have said, and like we've said, it should be an opportunity for these players that don't get minutes, or these up and coming players, to sort of prove themselves. I've just seen a comment there by Mike saying Azaka would have a point to prove. So that could possibly, if a player needs to be fired up more for a game, it's got to be against Bristol Rovers for Freddie Azaka, So if he's had to go out there on loan, that's probably put him down, and he hasn't got game time. So I'd absolutely love it for Azaka to play and go score 2 or 3.
It was Matey SM, I think it was. Sorry, let me just flick back to my live screen. Rightly pointing out SM10, saying it was Cornell who was sent off.
Leighton Orient's team was Hammond, Sorinola, Ross, Pleguerzalo, Edwards as the back 4, Patterson, Wiradoo and Roberts in midfield with Dale, and then Aseni and Talai up top, 4-4-2. So Roberts started in that game.
Yeah, so thanks for dropping the correction in there, though. So
it was Cornell sent off against Bristol Rovers.
Minute or something, wasn't it? Yeah, it was early on
in the P and rain. Remember?
It wasn't the best, was it? Which didn't help. Let's give that ounce of. No, we won't give it to him.
If you're going to rest Joe Rolls, you rest him for this. But I personally, I would stick with that side. And if we're 2-0 up at half time, then you bring Roberts on and give him 45 minutes against the club he's just been told he ain't good enough for. That would be my sort of plan on it.
Look, I just think we've got to carry the momentum. There's no like habits are a thing, aren't they? We went on a poor losing streak. We've suddenly turned it around away. We finally got that win at home. Regardless of the fact that it was against a very weakened side, plagued with injuries as well, we still got the result, and that makes a huge difference. So I want to carry that momentum. And more so than ever, you need these players to get used to working. Caleb Watts is coming back, Amichi's coming back. So you've got to get them gelling in a match, not just in training. Argyle Jana throwing out there as well, evening to you. And Nicholas GSC has dropped in as well, who likes your lineup. Gavin is going for a 3-0 result. But Argyle Jana says, since Ross has joined, I'm not very sure on him. He's definitely, from people I've spoken to, and we've touched upon it on the show, he's one that splits opinions. I think he's done all right when he's come on the last couple of games. Again, once we get the momentum, we might then see a better player out of some of these. But I mean, Andy, I'll come to you. What's your thoughts again on Ross? Do you see him as someone that still needs to prove a point a bit more, or can you see that player in him?
There is a player there, obviously, because he scored on Sunday, so he's getting the positions. He wins headers up front. He's got a lot of potential. Would you rest him for this game? Possibly, because Pleggy's not around, but who would you put in place?
It's not a case of dropping him. It's whether or not you think he's good enough. That's Argyle Jana's view on it.
Yeah, definitely. So he's definitely good enough. He knows where the back of the net is, as we saw.
But he's a defender. As a defender, do you like? Do you think you see the best out of him yet? Do you think we've seen the best out of him in his position?
Not the best, no. Not the best. No, I think there's more to come, but he proves that he can do that as well up front.
Just to let you know, Isaka played for Bristol Rovers against in the Virtu against Cambridge.
Yeah, so he won't be able to play.
So he's cup tied.
That
ends that debate. He played behind as one of 2 10s behind the striker when they won on penalties to get through to the last next round.
So he's cup tied, so won't be able to feature then.
So no, he will not.
Yeah. Okay,
Ross is our technically best centre half.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, this is that's why we like to go through the comments and bring the audience in on our show, so we can get that across. As Matt Montgomery's just said, that's why we debate and enjoy the Block 9. He hits the nail on the head. Ross is a Marmite player at the moment, but I think he's definitely, since Pleggy's come back, and then when he's had to step in for him, for me, he's done very well. And I think that we always said, need the competition back in for places. It does just, turn a wick up or two on some of the players. Argo 83 saying, when's Ibrahim back? Hopefully within a month. We might get an update in the presser on Monday, but it's still, I think, a couple of months away at best, potentially with him. Argo Jana also saying, rumours Souks is going. How true do you reckon it is? Jana, we went through the transfer rumours at the start of the show, but yes, don't know. We said he probably is a little bit unsettled. He's not getting regular games, is he? So might well be looking at an exit. Does anybody know what his contract length is for us, out of interest?
Ross.
Yeah. No, Such.
Sorry, not Ross. Yeah, thank you, Gavin.
1 more year, I think, after this.
Such signed, it was 2 or 3, I think he signed.
3, so it'll be 1 more year after this.
Yeah, cool. GT saying, I really like Ross. He will only get better. So we shall see how that goes. But yeah, for me, I think let's go out there on Tuesday night and get a strong start and see if we can sustain our away win. Since that game back in the start of December against Orient, with our away results have been and performances have been a lot better. So we want to carry that momentum forward. Anybody got anything else to say on the virtual cup game?
Just get it done and dusted and head away.
Win the lot.
Yeah, predictions actually. So Andy, predictions, scoreline.
2-0 to Argyle.
Yeah, 2-0. Fair enough. Gavin?
I think we're going to give him a bit of a hiding, I have to say. I think if we play 4-4-2 in that lineup, I think we'll win, let's say 4-1.
Yeah, I think it will be a high score line. Harvey, you went ooh then on screen. What are you thinking?
I think it's going to be one of them banana slip games where nothing's going to fit for us and whatnot. But I'm going to go with the famous dad score prediction, 2-1 Argyle.
All right, fair enough.
Jesus. You can tell that the dockyard's filled your fucking head full of optimism, isn't it? With all those very sunny side up men that work in there that are just happy little go lucky Mary Poppins type characters. Fucking hell.
Yeah, so
it's going to be a banana skin. They're second from bottom in League Two. They couldn't score with a bankrupt lady of ill repute.
Hey, we've been second bottom and we've done wonders in the cup. We was bottom and we beat Brentford.
And just to correct you, Gavin, they are fifth from bottom. They're 20th on 21 points.
But I think Steve's come in and got us some points, hasn't he? He won them in a raffle or something.
Oh, Arsenal nil, Liverpool nil. They're still playing, evening Terry. So yeah, look, I think that's pretty much it for tonight. We were keen just to carry on with Thursdays. Obviously, the game isn't till Tuesday, so we shall have a night off on Saturday night. I will be back on Tuesday. I will do a watch along for the game, so come and join me in the chat there, and let's see what we get from that game. And I'll also do the same for the Peterborough away game as well. And that, I think, I'll come to that. And that will be, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Gavin. That will be, I think, one of the toughest tests after the run that Peterborough have had for Argyle on the road. So, the two good away games to look forward to with a watch along. And as Brian has pointed out, rightly so, Mike, don't forget Argyle women's play on Sunday in the FA National League Cup versus Lewes FC. Gavin, give us a bit of a heads up on that.
Lewes FC.
In
Sussex. Played rugby against Lewes quite a lot, actually, when I lived in the Sevenoaks. I see a big scoreline coming ahead here. I think the girls are hurting, having been bullied, beat up, and completely out-Wickham'd by Watford at home in front of nearly 1,600 as well, by the way, for a home ladies game. That's a great gate. Keep that coming. I think they got a bit of they were brilliant, weren't they? We only went till 20 minutes to go, and then they just basically capitulated. But I see the women. They've already beaten Lewes away this year in one League Cup, I think. They certainly won away. I think they'll win 4, maybe 5-0 on Sunday. I think they're going to go there with their tail very, very up. I think Marie's words are going to be ringing in their ears as they leave that dressing room because they didn't cover themselves in glory at home to Watford in the league, and this is a good chance for them to move on again, a bit like the men. So yeah, I would say 5-0 to the ladies on Sunday, and I don't think it'll be streamed. If it is, watch it; it'll be good value.
Yeah, no, I'm not aware that they do stream them. It would be another watch-along opportunity for the ladies game. Brian also agreeing. He thinks it would be a big win. He's going for Argyle to win 3-0 on Tuesday, the men, and the ladies to win 4-0. Matt just saying, agree with Gavin Field where we will spank them with the confidence and better understanding for this time around, going for a 5-1. It may have been the moment and the fixture against Watford, that top of the league clash, getting to them. Ben Collins also asking what's happened about Joe Edwards' 250 tribute. So, I mean, he's currently on 260 appearances, just checking FotMob. I haven't heard anything from Nick at PFC Displays. Obviously, we had something ready for it to show what they were planning to do before the postponed game or whatever it was, put it to bed. And I haven't heard anything more. So I'll give him a nudge and just see if there is anything planned to do it. Andrew's saying they aren't allowed to be streamed, which is shocking. I find that it would be interesting to know why, Andrew, because with the interest around the women's game now, Argyle have got all the cameras in places. Some of them are not even manned now; they just use the joystick and move them. So I'd like to think that Argyle aren't preventing it from being streamed. Do you?
It's at Lewes. They'll have no say.
Right.
It's away at Lewes. They'll have no say what goes
on.
No,
but even the home games aren't streamed, are they?
Yeah.
Are they? Oh, right. Okay. Oh, apologies.
They're on Argyle TV for free. If you are an Argyle TV subscriber, you can watch them for free. And Rob Nicholas does the commentary and does it very well.
Oh, fair enough then. So I wonder if there's any reason to not get more interested in that, to not offer it out without being an Argyle TV subscriber. But of course, that's a revenue stream that they use. So, that is their choice. Other than that, final thoughts. So, Andy, I'll come to you for your signing off thoughts.
Let's just hope we can after this little break, after Bristol Rovers, just maintain our winning run at the minute and keep it going. We need to keep it going.
Yeah, keep January going on a positive. Gavin, yours, please.
I'm very interested in what happens between now and next week in terms of the window. If the Port Vale guy, Ronan Keating, is due any day, then I don't think Chris Errington reports on stuff that isn't imminent. Certainly hasn't done in the past anyway. He doesn't often report on speculation. So he might be in for the weekend, which would be exciting, won't it? Get him in the Virtu, although he's probably played in it for Port Vale, no doubt. But it'd be great to have him in and an extra body around the camp. And again, let's see how many people go the other way between now and then. So that's my big focus between now and Tuesday. And then let's go and put a positive result together and get ourselves through to the next round of the Virtu.
Yeah, I agree, Harvey, with that. It'd be good to see a signing or two come through the door. That gives a bit of more positivity around the club. What's your final thoughts, mate, as we head off to that game on Tuesday?
Yeah, obviously, January's always an exciting time, isn't it? 'Cause it's also that window that brings uncertainty, and there's always a few deals that come in that you don't expect. But yeah, it's obviously a big month. The title charge is on. No, the playoff charge, is on. Late 7th push, and I'm going to see you all at Wembley. Come on, you Greens.
Yeah, I like that. Thanks to those who have joined in the chat tonight. It's been really good. As Debbie just said, see you all soon. Great podcast, guys. Matt also saying earlier, Nicholas G saying another great Block 9 podcast. Let's have a win on Tuesday. Come on, I'm going to see what's happening in this Liverpool game if it's not finished already and ended 0-0. Yes, thank you all for your contributions. Just looking at the weather app on my iPhone, believe it or not, it's saying it feels like -12 outside. So Argo 83, you won't be wet because you'll be iced if you step out that door. It has calmed down, it felt like, for the last half an hour, but we're probably just coming to the main part of the storm up here. But stay safe, everybody, wherever you are across the country. Andy, make sure you make the right decision when looking to travel back tomorrow, and make sure you've got stuff in the car in case there are incidents. And you end up getting stuck in traffic. Other than that, folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for your company tonight, and we shall see you for the watch along on Tuesday. Take it easy.
Good night, everyone.